Your favorite film is awful.
Hello, and welcome to Your Favourite Film is Awful, the weekly podcast and show where we take your favourite films and defend them against negative reviews. How have you been? That's good to know. My name is Luke MJ Powell, and with me, as always, the one, the only guy I could be doing this realistically, at least for now. It's Charlie Lilly. How we doing, Charlie?
I ain't got friends. I got family.
Yeah, he said the thing from the thing.
I said it. I'm also wearing a t-shirt with it saying it, just in case.
And for those at home who are
visuals.
only doing the visuals, who are only doing the audio even, his t-shirt says, I have friends. No, I
ain't
don't
got
have friends. And then there's a car which blends into his t-shirt so it doesn't say anything else.
It's not the best made t-shirt. A friend bought it for me. It was a nice gesture.
It was a
But
beautiful
you can't really
gesture.
see the family part,
can't.
so it's kind of
At
like
most it says,
I ain't got
friends.
it's like I ain't got friends. Apparently, that's what it looks like. It says, yeah. It had to be done.
It had to be done.
Had to
You've
wear it
got the
today.
thing to go with the thing, and the thing, of course, is today's episode. You've already seen the title. It's the 2017 The Fate of the Furious, in brackets, F8, in brackets, Fast and Furious 8. Charlie,
The Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious. What's this film about, my friend?
Oh no! I did it again. I forgot I had to come with a premise. How does one describe this movie? Okay. I'll give it my best shot. So, basically, the premise of this movie is, the family that you know so well from having 7 previous movies of them before, have now. Charlize Theron is on the scene, and she has turned Dominic Toretto against the squad because, as we know, during this time, things like Civil War and stuff are very popular. So, and Batman vs Superman. So, Fast and Furious also did their version of that, where Dominic Toretto goes rogue. He goes rogue, and the entire family have to help stop Dominic Toretto and Charlize Theron. The Charlize Theron, she's playing herself. As they try to get some nukes because they want to stop the Russians and the superpowers. And
I
the
believe in
Americans
all.
from
Yeah, I
using
believe in
nukes.
all of her
It's very-
vague reasoning. It kind of just boiled down to accountability. So she wanted the
Yes.
nukes. So if somebody fucked up, she could be the one that presses the button.
She could be the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, as we know, as a lot of this movie does, because
Oh, it's so much
It's-
sense.
we'll find out. Yes.
And
It's
you
gonna be
know,
a good
some
episode.
may say that the fans will say that the bar was raised, but Ross Dunham with this half star explains. Only James Cameron, in his submarine, could find the bar in which this film rests at. Best part was the credits. Then I knew it was over.
Right. So, but I'm confused. Like, did they say that James Cameron likes this movie?
No, so
I'm confused. Because if
James
James
Cameron's
Cameron,
whole thing with submarines, he likes
yes, because
for
he
the
likes to
filming
go.
of Titanic.
He does. Yes, he likes
So
to go down.
only James Cameron can get to such a depth as a film
I didn't hear that bit. Okay,
aficionado
I see.
to find
I see.
where this film sits.
I enjoyed the submarine reference because, as of course, there is
It was
a
beautiful.
fantastic scene in this movie with a submarine. And look, guys, let's break it down for you. Me and my friends, we love this. We love the Fast and Furious franchise, and there is a reason for that. I know you're probably thinking, Charlie, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be some sort of cinephile who loves all these movies and classic cinema and all this stuff. And how can you like Fast and Furious? How can you?
Actually, I was thinking, how can you start a sentence with "me and my friends like the Fast and Furious franchise" when your T-shirt declares you have no friends, you have family?
That is true. That is true. Well, of course, as you can see, I'm a compulsive liar. So, and I'm going to do that for the rest of this episode. No, I'm joking. So, Fast and Furious. Let's break it down, people. Right, this is a movie that started about drag racing. The first 3 movies are all about drag racing, and now they are fighting submarines with cars on ice where the submarine fires missiles and they defeat the submarine, spoilers, with cars.
Yes.
Now I don't know about you, Luke, but everything about that sentence right there says to me this is one of the greatest franchises ever put to film. Because not only do they have that, then you got the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw, where there's a superheroes. And also,
Yes.
you know what? You don't even need to put that as a superhero, because Hobbs himself is pretty much a superhero. He has super strength. Like, let's be real, right? They're all kind of superheroes with cars. I guess Vin Diesel's power is that he can like get in any car and drive it better than anyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even backwards with a flaming
fire.
car, with fire. Yeah.
Well, you know, flames make shit faster, right? That's just how it works.
Do you know what? The opening scene to this movie kind of sums up what I love about these ridiculous movies, is that they don't take themselves too seriously, and also that they're just so all over the place that like it doesn't even matter. Like this film starts right with this chase through Cuba, isn't it? I believe.
Yes.
And yeah, all of a sudden he decides to start reversing because his car's on fire, and somehow that helps.
I mean,
that
I
helps
can see the logic.
Yeah, it was great. And then after that scene's over, it's like the movie starts.
Yes.
After that, it's like the movie doesn't need to.
It was like
have
the
that.
cold
It's like a short
open
film.
of a Bond
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, but like at least that kind of usually like ties back. I mean, they do try to tie it back at the end of the movie, but yeah, no.
It's
so
bizarre.
These movies are now. I used to be like you guys, right? People out there who's sitting there thinking, why are you defending this movie? I used to hate everything that these films. I thought that these films represented. I thought, these big blockbuster movies about nothing. They're terribly written. There's just CGI everywhere. Like they've not even got cool car stunts. Until I saw. Well, let's get it right. So I only saw the first 3 Fast and Furious, and then I didn't like them, and then I saw Fast and Furious 7.
Oh, okay.
And then when I saw
ice
Fast
cream.
and Furious 7...
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pick that up. Can you have the ice cream?
It's
Do you want an ice cream real quick?
I wish. That'd be great.
I wish. It's warm.
That'd be amazing. It's so hot. I'm literally sweating. So,
Continue with your... Oh.
My eyes are so sore because of the hay fever. That's why I look so weird right now. But anyway.
Continue with your
For people watching
viewership.
it. So yeah, number 7 comes out. Right? I watched 7, and somehow I am nearly crying at the end of the movie. Now,
yes, that makes sense.
of course, all that stuff with Paul Walker and stuff, but it did it in a very tasteful way, and a very kind of ludicrous way, in a sense that kind of breaks the fourth wall. But it's the franchise that can do that, and I had so much fun watching that movie, and I just love that they constantly refer to them being family. I love that even the villains, like we'll talk about in this movie, can just become your friend. Even if they've killed your friends before. Like,
we'll get into that.
we'll get into this.
Yeah, but literally the next review is going to get into that a little bit more, but
So,
continue.
I think if you go into these movies, I get that you're saying about depth. You can't find depth into this, but it's not about that. This movie, I mean, the Fast and Furious 9 that's coming out is going to bring people back into cinema. People love this shit. They love it. It's insanity. And for one, you know what? I'm there with them. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. And this one, to me, was the one that made me realise... Okay, 7, I kind of realised it, but this one was like, oh, they know what they're doing. They know how silly they are. And they are just going balls to the wall. They're fighting... No one in their right mind can tell me that these writers don't know how silly it is. They're fighting a submarine that fires missiles with cars. On ice, yeah. It's brilliant. Vin Diesel at one point, Dominic Toretto, presses a button in his car and it sends like a fucking earthquake out of the car, like a Do you remember that bit towards the end when it sort of like sends like a pulse that like destroys like some of the.
Does yeah.
It's so much weird stuff.
It seems familiar, and it's like that sort of familiarity where you could be completely making this up or picking it out of a different film. And from what I just watched, I believe you.
I believe
think that might have happened.
You could say anything in these movies. I mean, look, these guys. I mean, they're doing in the next movie what I've been hoping they'd do all this time, which is they're going to go to space. So that tells
I thought
me
you meant
everything.
the weird Tarzan
the
rope
swing.
bridge swing,
Yeah,
which
no.
even now keeps popping up, and I'm like, how
No.
has anybody looked at that and gone, that makes sense, that works?
This
Physics
is
be
Fast
damned.
and Furious. This is Fast and Furious. And
Fast and Furious.
as the great action director John Woo once said, logic is boring. Realism is boring.
This
We
is
don't
true.
want that.
Yeah,
okay?
no, I
We
get
want
it.
to see Dominic Toretto. We want to see zombie cars. We want to see cars get
So weird.
fucking
So odd.
reprogrammed to fucking drive into each other and smash. Which, by the way, is actually kind of a fear of mine. Like, I have a weird fear of this. Of like, ever since I watched Upgrade, I don't know if you remember, Luke. Ever since I
Yeah.
watched Upgrade, because all like Teslas and stuff, they're all computer powered now, aren't they? They're electric and
Yeah, yeah,
stuff. And when I watched Upgrade and this, where like you can,
Shh, no
I was like,
spoilers.
someone
But yeah.
could hack into a car and make it flip.
No, that's not what happens in Upgrade. We're not talking about Upgrade today, Charlie.
No, I'm just talking about, I'm just saying how
I
scary.
know, I know. I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah, I'm just saying it scared the fucking life out
You
of
know,
me. the thought
it's
of
like
that.
that
'Cause surely
one
someone did that.
Doctor Who episode. There we go.
Oh, was it? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they have a similar
know.
thing.
I don't know enough about Doctor Who.
So have you now watched all of the Fast and Furiouses? So you went 1, 2, 3, 7, and then I assume you went back and watched 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and then I watched. I don't think I still don't think I've seen 4, but I've seen 5
Yes.
and I've seen 6,
Okay.
but I don't think I've seen 4 yet. I might have. I've
Okay.
not remembered. Matt said to me the other day, he was like, "You have seen that one." Oh, have I? He was like, "Yeah, this is what that was." I was like, "Oh, I thought that happened in that one."
They've all
It's hard to
just
tell.
become one. It's the
Yeah.
Fast Saga now. It's just one continuous
The Fast
thing. It's
Saga.
all good. As we're getting into this bit now, anyway, I might as well tack on my viewing experience.
Oh, please do.
I
Please do.
watched 1, 2, 3. I watched
Yep.
a lot of 2. I had 2 on VHS, so I rinsed that quite a bit. And then
The worst one. Too Fast, Too Furious.
but
Brilliant.
weirdly, like the second best.
The second, really interesting. I'm really
Well, it
interested
depends
to
what
hear
you're
this.
after. If you want what Fast and Furious has become, then it's garbage. But if you actually liked that beginning when it was playing with more realism, it's believable. So I went 1, 2, 3, abandoned Fast and Furious, and then watched Hobbs and Shaw, and now have watched 8.
I
So
see.
I've watched
So you haven't
5.
seen 7?
I've not seen 7. I've not seen 4, 5, 6, or 7.
Okay, I think you might have fun with 7. 7's also directed by James Wan.
Oh, okay.
So
Fair.
I think that plays a... I mean, this is directed by F. Gary Gray, this one.
So the listeners now know where we're coming from as we defend the next review.
Go.
Are you ready? This is an extract from Jake Cole. It's a 1.5 out of 4. You can tell it's a proper critic review because it's out of 4, not out of 5. Like, that's the secret for those at home. So they had a bit of a paragraph about how some of the characters, as you just mentioned, some of the backstories have been washed away. Hobbs and Shaw and Vin Diesel. Shaw killed one of the family, and now he's cool. He's in with them, and that's where we start this paragraph. By sanding down the quirks and histories of these characters, the Fate of the Furious loses sight of what made the Fast and Furious films work in the first place. From the start, and especially since the fourth film's franchise reset, these films have fundamentally hinged on the small moments of vulnerability and contentment shared between lovers and especially friends. This came into sharp focus as the actors aged, believably turning characters introduced as young hot rodders into sober, reflective adults. This was especially true of Diesel, who brought a world-weary quality to his last few outings as Dom that's absent throughout his scenes of the man yelling intensely at Cypher when her mind games push him past his breaking point. So that's just the first paragraph. Do you have anything to say at this time?
I disagree that the franchise was better before. So far.
Fair.
I think the first movie, it's okay. It's an okay movie about cars racing. It's the best of the ones that are more normal, shall we say. And then I kind of like Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift is like poorly acted and stuff, but it's really fun in terms of the car stuff's ridiculous, like the whole grinding stuff.
It's so good.
But as far as I'm aware, a lot of people like the reset of 4 because that's when it kind of started to realise how ridiculous you could go with it. Sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the main point of that paragraph is that because there is this kind of, they wash over a lot of connections between characters, it doesn't have that core family theme anymore.
I see. So he feels they've taken that away.
Yeah, and it's
I
just become
can
kind
understand
of bland
that.
action.
I wouldn't say bland action. I think it's ludicrous action. But I do understand that. I do get that. And I can imagine if you was a fan of the others, they're a bit more family based. I do understand why you have problems with this one. Even if you're a fan of like 7 and stuff. 7 was a bit very more family based and stuff. This one, they kind of still try to deal with family, obviously having like Dominic Toretto's baby and stuff in it. But I guess what kind of annoys people is, and this took me a while to figure out when I first watched it, was the woman, Ellen, I believe her name is.
Yes.
The woman that he has the baby with is like Hobbs's girlfriend in like one of the others or something. It doesn't like, someone was like, yeah, it doesn't like quite match up. Like, it's really weird. Yeah.
That's.
He does hook up with her in one of them, in a couple of them.
Huh.
But yeah, it's kind of weird, like things like that, or like I can see, for example, like people love Han. Like Han is like people's boy, aren't they? They absolutely love Han, and they don't, and they kind of become friends with the guy who
that
killed him.
Yes.
Apparently that's kind of being debunked, but
yeah, it's a weird one because I know that the films aren't in chronological order. If that makes sense. Like, isn't Tokyo Drift like one of the last in the series timeline?
Yeah, it's very weird.
It is weird. Right, shall we continue to the second paragraph?
Continue, yeah.
The fate of the Furious might have saved itself with its action sequences, but they reach a new level of pandemonium for the series without matching the sheer abandon of the centerpiece of the last few films. An opening race in Havana is a dull nod to the franchise's roots, and it runs so smoothly on autopilot that even when Dom's car explodes, the crowd of onlookers continues to stand in the path of destruction, obliviously cheering as flames roar from the vehicle's engine. Cypher goes to a lot of trouble to abduct Dom and ensure his loyalty, but in a scene where she hacks every auto-drive vehicle in a New York neighborhood to literally rain cars from garages to incapacitate a Russian minister toting around a suitcase full of nuclear codes, one may wonder why Dom is needed at all, other than to walk up and grab the parcel. The film's climactic scene involves Russian separatists, a tank towing a Lamborghini on cracking ice, and a nuclear submarine, yet the overall structure merely repeats similar closing sequences from the last few Fast and Furious films. It's a fact that downing a sub with a car is different than downing a plane with one, but it looks the same in execution.
I think that was quite a fair review actually, and I do actually agree with that review. But on the same foot, I do like that. We know that the big set pieces in the Fast and Furious movies are going to be they got to take down some sort of bigger vehicle with cars, and to me, I think a submarine that fires nukes is the perfect one for that. I mean, I understand this guy is a fan of the more down to earth version of Fast and Furious, so it's difficult for me because obviously I prefer the more ludicrous, outlandish stuff because that's kind of what I love about it. I love that we can get away with that in this big franchise and that everyone seems to watch them still and doesn't really care. In a world where, like, it seems that a lot of people want realism with things, particularly when it comes to, like, a lot of action movies, I feel like we're hindered by that. But if you look at, like, the early 2000s with, like, the Bourne Identity movies and stuff,
yes,
the action and stuff of that
the
time
introduction
period,
of shaky cam to
exactly.
hide the fact that your actors aren't actually hitting each other.
Yes, exactly. That time period kind of made everything a bit dull, I felt, in terms of action. There was a while where we didn't quite, with the exceptions, obviously. But because we were looking for that kind of realism, and I think we've kind of lost something along the way of, like, it's a movie, let's have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the Fast and Furious, is, like, who gives a shit about logic? Let's just go balls to the wall. Let's have them fight a submarine. I kind of digged it as a set piece. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, that set piece. I also like cutting back with Jason Statham with the baby, trying to get the baby along, fighting the dudes off. That was great. I thought that was really cool. But I do understand, and I do agree. And when I first watched this film, I had a blast, and I thought it was, like, my second favourite Fast and Furious movie. But then now rewatching it for this podcast, I kind of feel a bit different. I don't know if I was just high on the fumes of, new Fast and Furious movies out, and I'm seeing it with my friends and we're having a laugh. Now watching this on my own, I felt very different in the sense that
Well, yeah, it kind of speaks to your idea that you need multiple viewings to get to know a film. And if your first viewing is in the cinema with lots of people and you've got that energy and hype, then it's going to wash away any and all flaws.
Yeah. And it's weird because I forgive these movies for having, like, poor structure and bad dialogue and stuff, because I'm just like, that's what I come here to see, really, But I did find that some of the scenes weren't as rewatchable as, say, 7, for example.
Yeah.
Where I feel like it's a lot it's non-stop. 7 doesn't stop, essentially. Until it has its family moments. Whereas this, I do feel like at times can be just there's a bunch of people talking in a room about.
Yeah, no, that does happen a few times.
And people going, everyone's smarter than everyone. Everyone's like, I've already figured that out. Or hold on a minute, why don't we talk about some gibberish that means codes, some codes that we need to get. But I don't mind all that.
The scenes with the code.
I love all that. Yeah, because it means nothing. They're talking nonsense.
3 people just tapping on a laptop, and that's excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Yeah, no, it's insane. But I do enjoy it, and I think what's interesting about this one is I think some of the best stuff in this one is the Hobbs and Shaw stuff.
Yes,
and I guess that's why they took it.
You can fully tell that this was, like, the pilot to see if, like, this idea that somebody had in a boardroom was like, hey, these two are big earners. Let's have them do their own their own thing, so we don't need to pay anyone else. But let's just double check that it works. And it does. I fucking loved that prison breakout scene.
That was great, wasn't it? That was good fun.
So good.
And it's weird because I think the series fluctuates from having really sort of strong fight scenes, like well shot, to then having shaky cam, can't see anything fight scenes.
Yes.
And it's really weird, but I do wonder if it is because, like, we know Statham and The Rock can do this sort of stuff, but Michelle Rodriguez, even though I've seen her do it in other movies, isn't quite as well trained maybe as someone like Statham, so they don't show all the cuts as much.
Yeah.
So the shots, the wide shots or stuff. But it's that's a shame. But I do think that breakout scene's really fun. Although it doesn't make much sense that The Rock's like, well, that's what I love about this series. It doesn't make much sense that The Rock's like, no, I'm not going to escape because you've let me escape. I'm going to escape on my own terms. That's just so, it's just
Well,
so silly.
I think at that point he's not trying to escape. It's like he wants to get to trial and for it to fall through at trial and him to just be allowed to leave, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But what I loved during that scene, and it kind of like pulled me out of it at one point, is there's a slow-mo shot of Jason Statham just jumping down some stairs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like,
yeah.
like that's all he's doing in that, and they're like, let's slow-mo that shit. That's what the people want.
But look, that's exactly what I love about this series. In the same way that I feel like people love Zack Snyder with the Snyder Cut, in the sense that like it's just insane. It is
insane.
Why I don't understand the decisions, but I will support it because this is bonkers.
It is.
So yeah, it was weird, like rewatching it. Like I said, I see all the flaw. I agree with this review, but then I also don't agree with the view because some of the things that he's saying, he's sitting there going to me, "Oh, it's weird that the zombie cars are doing this. I don't understand it. It's too much."
Well, no, it's not that. It's weird that Scyther can do zombie cars, but she's still got that one bald guy in
Yeah.
to
Yep.
walk around with a chainsaw, I guess, because that's all he has
this
for
what-
that scene.
But what I love about that is that really what you're going to focus on in a series where they hire people who just drive cars fast to do spy shit?
this.
Why are they not hiring actual spies? They're just hiring. In the first movies, they were just riding cars, drag racing,
Yeah.
stealing radios.
Literally, the first movie is Point Break, but cars instead of surfing.
Yeah,
It's,
Yeah,
hey,
literally.
police guy, go be part of this street gang, because they're stealing... Somebody in the review said DVD players, but I swear it's VHS players. I swear, like, it's old.
yeah. I think it might be. I
Yeah.
thought it was radios, but maybe
Radio, oh my,
like
that'd
car
be even
radios.
further
But
back.
maybe I'm completely wrong.
Mate,
Um,
it's so good. And it's
insane.
turned into this. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, when he was saying all that, I was like, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So, but he was saying, there's no logic in that. The book was like, there's no logic in hiring them to do any of this stuff. So I don't mind. Send him in. I just love that he's gone rogue in this movie. I think that's hilarious the whole time.
It is so funny. Right. Next we have a 1 out of 10 from Generation of Swine. It's titled An Honest Review, so you know it's honest, and it's completely unbiased in any way. I was forced to go see this with my girlfriend and her best friend. While objecting to the film, I summarized the plot for them, garnered off of knowledge achieved by watching a single trailer, including all coming twists. It turns out I was correct on all counts. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you really want to see a movie that is that predictable? I know I didn't.
I don't know if he could have predicted zombie cars. I don't know if you could have predicted that.
In fairness, I don't know what was in the trailer that he watched.
That is true.
And that is one of those like throwaway action shots that I could totally see in the trailer.
That is true. And I feel like that comes down to a different problem, which is problems with trailers in general showing too much. I was actually a bit disappointed that the new Fast and Furious confirmed before the movie come out and then showed in the trailer that they're going to go to space.
Yes.
Because I was like, that would have been so great if we just went to the cinema and, oh shit, they're going to space. This is insane. Like, that would have been great. A great moment. I would have lost my mind. But now
Yeah.
I'm going in expecting
Knowing that.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it kind of
'cause
loses
they're not,
its
like,
charm, doesn't it?
we haven't seen them in space, but we've seen them in like the full like
Suits and stuff.
It's like not astronaut get up. It kind of looks like deep sea diver get up.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
like what you'd give people that don't know what space is.
Exactly. Who are somehow going to space in a car.
In a car.
In a rocket
jet-fueled
car.
Off of the back of a plane.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
It's so
It's just fantastic.
yeah, no, I
Which
feel
is what you want.
there is something to be said that like, okay, so the main review here is that the trailer gave it away. So we've got to defend the film based off the trailer.
Yeah.
which neither of us have seen. And
No.
which,
Well, I had, but a long, like 2017.
yeah, it was like
it was a while
4
ago.
years ago now.
No, yeah, exactly.
So you can't really, and it does just speak to that problem of sometimes trailers give too much away. Sometimes trailers are great and they only use like the first third, and sometimes you'll see the end sequence, like a shot of the end, in the trailer.
Yeah.
And sometimes that'll still be a mystery, and sometimes you'll be like, that's the fucking end. I can tell by like the costume progression or this thing or that thing or that thing.
No, it's true. And I think usually most of the time they could stop at like the first trailer. Like, and it's usually like the second trailers and the third trailers that kind of show you everything.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you look at like I don't know, a trailer I can think of that came out recently, the Last Night in Soho trailer. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, I'm done with that. I don't need any more trailers. It didn't really it told me enough. Didn't tell me too much. Do you know what I mean?
It kind of gave you the tone of it's creepy and something's going on with these two characters.
Yeah. And that's enough for me, personally. But then I do understand, obviously, like, at the end of the day, as much as we love the art form of films, it is also a business. And I do understand from, like, a producer, like a studio exec's point of view of, like, oh, they want people to...
Yeah, you need to give
see
them
this
enough
movie,
to get
yeah.
butts in seats.
Incentive, yeah, exactly. So I do understand that, but then I do think they hinder themselves because I don't think film fans are the only ones saying, "Oh, they give way too much in in trailers." I think everyone says that. Like, my mum says that. You know what I mean? It's like they give away too much now. So, yeah, I do understand that. I do think there's still trailers out there that are great, but yeah, I can see what he means. I do think the trailer the Fast and Furious trailers usually do give you the whole movie in the trailers. But yeah,
Thought that I've just had, which is a great defense, because of course he watched the trailer, and then from that trailer he garnered what the entire plot would be, right?
yeah.
Allow me, if I may, to direct you to Mission Impossible, where in the title sequence of every Mission Impossible, they show you what's going to happen in the film.
Like James Bond
And
does
then
that as well.
you sit there and watch the real version of that little snippet. So yes, people want to see it. What is it? It's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, it's like the Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible movies, sorry, are like, they're heist movies, aren't they? So you know that they're going to heist some stuff, and loads of things are going to go wrong, and then they're going to get the thing, or not get the thing.
Yeah.
You know that. So it doesn't really matter, because the tension is what you go for. You go to see things fuck up, to see Tom Cruise do insane stunts. And I think that's the same for the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
They're also heist movies now. They're kind of heist movies with cars, aren't they? In a
Yeah,
weird way.
it's a weird mixture of whatever they want to do, but with a car.
It's true. It's true. They do have a lot of like heist scenes, don't they? A lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but one has the bank vault, and they've stolen the
Yes,
bank
I
vault and
remember
dragging
seeing
it along and stuff.
the trailer for that.
Yeah, and so you see the trailer for that. Like I said, you know that scene, but it's like you kind of want to see how that all plays out, as opposed to we know they're gonna be getting some trouble during a heist. We've seen heist movies a million times. This is what's gonna happen. We've seen every Fast and Furious movie a million times. We know that there's gonna be some insane stunts with cars. What I do think is weird about the Fast and Furious series is that they do a lot of practical stunts with the cars, but the problem is they kind of smother it all in loads of CGI to add more debris and stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like, I watched I see a shot the other day, and it was for the new one.
Right.
And it was like a bit in the trailer where like the car flips and then like slides on its side through like a shop. And they did that practically.
Oh, nice.
And it looked great.
Yes.
And then they show you the finished shot next to it. And I'm like, nah, that doesn't even look like they did it. That just looks like it was made in a computer.
Yeah.
What was the point? You've just added so much to the point where... it's weird. It's weird that. But,
it is weird. For me, with like how that same sort of thing, to go into the trailer for Fast 9 again, is the rope swing bit where they do the close-up of inside the car as they're swinging, and there is no emotion. Like, they're both just deadpan as like they're basically free-falling, and they're both like...
Everyone knows everything's going to work, don't they?
Yeah.
They're not worried at all. The only one who is worried is Tyrese. He's the only one who ever gets worried about these things.
And I think that's the only reason he's still here.
Yeah, he's the comedy relief, which is
Yeah.
funny because in Fast and Furious 2, he's like a tough guy.
Yeah,
So-
which
yeah.
is what I'm saying. Because, like, for me, I've seen him in the second film, and now I'm seeing him in this
Oh
film.
yeah, of course, that's weird.
So for me, it's just like, I was watching it going, why is this character still here apart from to pay the actor? Like, that is the only reason he's still there.
That's so funny.
Full stop. Right.
No, it's true.
Yeah, he's not
the next
great.
review.
I don't know why he was there. Also, can we just say, very quickly before I do the next review, so you
Go
know
on.
the ending, you've got Tyrese, you've got the computer guy, and then you've got Afro Girl, right? I don't know their
Yes.
names because I'm not connected to the series very well.
Well, it's just the girl. It was the lady from Game of Thrones.
Yes, it's Miss Sunny.
I know the actress's name. Oh,
No, don't. If we,
I've got to look up. I've got to see.
okay.
I've got to make sure I get her name right. Is it Natalie Emmanuel? I believe?
Okay.
Yes.
So you got Tyrese.
Yep.
You got computer guy, and you've got
You got Ludacris.
Ludacris. Is it Ludacris? Okay,
Ludacris.
cool.
It's Ludacris the rapper.
Right.
Who I don't know. Seems to have given up with that and just does Fast
Okay.
and Furious movies now. I don't know. Maybe
This
he
time
has
I'll
made more
finish
stuff.
the sentence. You got
Go.
Tyrese, you got Ludacris, you've got Emmanuel. At no point during this film have I seen any chemistry at all between Tyrese and Emmanuel, but at the end, suddenly it's a three-way, who's she gonna be with?
It's so weird. Isn't
I was
it?
just sat there
It's
like-
so weird.
It's gonna be with Ludacris, because they're the only two that have had chemistry together within this little triangle.
Do you not think that this film is like a bit of a time capsule of like when Game of Thrones was like super popular? Because like they've got the two Game of Thrones actors in it. So you got Natalie and they have the Wildling guy
Yes, yeah.
as the villain. I forget his
man.
name.
Yes.
I used to know his name. I used to know all the Game of Thrones characters. Tormund or something.
It's
Is it
fine.
Tormund?
We
or some shit
both,
like
yeah, it's Tormund. Tormund.
that? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah
the
anyone
guy,
knows.
big ginger
But I think it's
beard
funny
man. He great.
because, like, obviously now no one talks about Game of Thrones because of the way it ended. But it's just funny because to see back then,
Yeah.
I was like thinking about, oh yeah, because obviously Game of Thrones was popular back then, so they were getting all these actors in the Fast and Furious movies.
And thankfully, she gets to be in the next one. but
Exactly. Yeah.
Tormund does not.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the last review that we're doing today. This is another extract of a longer review. This is from Mike Scott. It is a 1 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
What follows is a series of stunt sequences, most far more well crafted than the overall story, as members of Dom's crew, as well as a few faces from the past, try to figure out a way to find him, stop him, and bring him back into the fold. Never mind that he has basically become an irredeemable, death-dealing Batman villain who seems at peace with injuring and possibly killing members of the crew he professes to love. His family, a big, meaningful word in Fast and Furious lore, and so his homicidal willingness to betray everything that for which he stands, even that family, even the safety of the world, can be forgiven, right? Fast and Furious movies are supposed to be unchallenging, but Fate of the Furious is full on brain dead.
Right. Well, I'm gonna combatant that with what is the very thing that Dominic Toretto cares about the most. And that is family. Right.
Family.
And yes, he does destroy or try to nearly kill some of his family, but it's only to protect his new family with this baby. So he still sticks by his morals by protecting this baby. You know, these people, you know, they're old enough, they've lived their life. He's trying to save this baby, you know.
They're old enough, they've lived their life. Doesn't matter if they die.
Right, I'm trying my best here, guys, alright? I'm trying my best. Alright, the Fate of the Furious, okay? So, even though he cares the most about family, so the writers knew, and they know, what's the worst thing you can do to Dominic Toretto is you take away his family, give him a family conundrum, and that is he's got a new baby boy, I believe,
Yes.
and he has to either choose between the baby boy and his family. But Dominic Toretto is going to try and figure a way to get both, isn't he? Which he obviously does. So yeah, I do understand. So yeah, I feel like
I mean,
I understand your point, but I feel like
for me, I
understand his
feel he
motivations to some degree.
Yeah, I don't feel he ever actually put his family's life at risk.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like,
he tries to
probably
save
the
them,
worst thing he does is when there are the grappling hooks and he reverses, so those two cars like do a little flip and fall on their tops.
Yeah,
Is that?
but he knows because he's been in
Yeah.
loads of Fast and Furious movies that you can survive.
None of them
that.
can die from
You can survive
that.
that. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
They've been through worse.
And let's be honest, they probably killed more people getting the EMP when Tyrese used all of the explosives he had at hand than he did on his own when being under the thumb of Charlize.
That is true.
Like, come on. He didn't.
That is true. I only through rewatching it for the second time did I realise that the theme of the movie
Right.
is about people changing. Because at the start, obviously that guy, he's being a bit of a dick and he beats him in the race and he lets him keep the car or something. And then Charlize Theron says, why'd you do that?
Yeah,
And he's like, because I believe people can change. And then, obviously, you have at the end where Jason Statham is also allowed now to be a part of the family,
yes.
even though he
Brutally
killed
murdered
Han.
someone.
Yes, he brutally murdered Han because he's all about change. He's all about forgiveness. And I feel like that was the theme of Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
Even though he has a really hilarious line where he's like, I could see it in your eyes, you wanted revenge. And I knew that he was on my side. Like, that's really shoots Jason's name. Like, it's so ridiculous. But brilliant.
It's so weird.
Yeah, so, that was something that I realised watching this. I guess that's the theme of the movie, is people can change. And, Dom's up for letting anyone in, even if they're murderers.
Yeah, no, fair.
But he's right, he does change for the good. So,
I mean,
maybe we all need a bit of Dominic Toretto in us.
oh dear. You really gonna word it like that, I?
That is true. That is weird. But what I was going to say was about the. I feel it was interesting watching this movie, knowing about the beefs.
Yes. Yeah,
That
because
happened.
it's Tyrese and The Rock, right? Is that the big beef?
The beef is actually with Vin Diesel on The Rock.
Oh, Vinny D and The Rock.
Yes,
Okay.
Vin Diesel on The Rock had some falling outs, and The Rock called him a candy ass
Nice.
on Instagram. But yeah, they've made up now.
Yeah.
But apparently he said he wasn't really... They cut a load of scenes from his that he liked, and he didn't act properly in some of the scenes. But I feel like he's acting... He's doing his job
Yeah, it's
in
acceptable.
the movie, The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was interesting to point out, also, that there's a lot of references to Paul Walker's character, Brian.
Yes.
We have, obviously... So I've got this son.
You got it right in your eyes.
Just right in my eyes. So I'm just going to go this.
It's like a Sith Lord just covering
Yeah,
his
it's
eyes.
like revealed. It's like this nice sort of...
I mean, it's
letterbox.
kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. It's kind of
weird.
like cinematic looking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm chatting shit probably. Anyway, for anyone who listens to the podcast, they're like, "What are they fucking going on about?" They sit. Am I really
for those
sitting listening to
people,
them
he's got sun in his eyes. The sun
Yeah.
has lowered and is just blinding him.
Literally. Yes. So yeah, there's loads of references to Paul Walker's character Brian. One being they call the baby Brian, even though they should have called it Vin Petrol.
Jesus.
Which I don't know if you know, Vin Diesel's real name is not Vin Diesel.
I do
it's
know
actually
this, but I don't
Mark
know what
Sinclair.
it is. Mark Sinclair. Okay,
Yeah,
I
which
can
is-
understand.
makes it
It's,
funny.
it's pretty
I can't
average
understand it.
name, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the references to Brian. They also mention about Jeremy says like, "Oh, you're to Tyrese, you're number 11
Yes.
on the most wanted list."
Yes.
Well, if you see him count, he doesn't actually count all the numbers. I think he leaves 7 out because that was left for Brian because Brian still exists. Obviously, because he in 7 he doesn't die.
Yeah, he
just
drives
leaves.
away.
Yeah, he drives away. So, which is very wholesome, very sweet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they refer to Brian as well in that scene where they talk about, oh, what should we do? Brian would know.
Brian
we
would know.
promised not to get him involved again.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not coming to this film.
They do
no matter
explain
how
that.
much CGI we have.
No, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, I feel what was the review we were trying to defend? This light is really distracting my eyes right now. I'm forgetting my points.
No worries. It was just, the stunts are better than the story.
Yeah, but yeah,
They say it's
do you
about,
really come to watch Fast and Furious for the story?
They say it's
You
about
really?
family, but he trying to kill his family. Vin Diesel, I guess I can read from this paragraph that he thinks Vin Diesel is irredeemable throughout this film, and then he finishes with that it's Fast and Furious movies are supposed to be unchallenging, but this film is full on brain dead.
I'd like to know which ones you think are challenging before. Do you know what I mean? The word brain dead. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's unfair to judge it like that because you know what you're going into when you're watching this movie. They don't pretend to be anything else. They're not trying to be high art. They're not trying to be better. You know, they're not trying to be anything they're not. They know exactly what they are. They're action movies, and it's all about let's get
Cars.
to the crazy stunts.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like the stunts are good. He's like, yeah, that's all the point. I guess you. I do understand that you can complain about it. It is fair. Obviously, you want more, and I do think you can get more out of these films. I do think there is a line of like you can make it silly and fun, and also tell a good story. I feel like Seven does do that to a degree. I feel like this one does go too far with things, and is a lot of people standing around talking. So I don't understand that. But I do think they deliver on the big set pieces. So. It's tough. I mean, these reviews have been tough because I do understand them and they're all valid. They're all right. Do you know what I mean?
As we've said before, all art is subjective, and film is art. So, I think it all kind of boils down to because we've been talking for a while. We've defended, but we've got to come to an agreement now, which is of course is it awful? Is Fate of the Furious awful?
Right now, is this where we reveal ourselves?
Yeah, this is the new reveal. It's linking back to the title of the episode instead of just a general review.
Yeah, I think this will be good.
Yeah, as it's been pointed out, we just kind of hit the same points if you like the film.
Yeah, exactly. And we're trying to figure out the structure. We're trying to rebrand all the time. And
For the eagle-eared of you, we'd left out most of the beginning.
Yes, because we thought, fuck it, let's just jump straight into it.
Yeah. So,
right, okay.
Is it awful or is it awesome?
Do you want me to go first?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, it is awful, but it is awesome because it is awful, because it's so insane.
Are you trying to ask for a new category, which is like awesomely awful?
Yeah, I'm all for that. Like I said, on rewatch, this wasn't as good as I thought, and I was kind of a bit saddened before this podcast because I was like, oh shit, I've just said to Luke we're going to do this, and I'm not going to bring in the energy that I thought I would have before. But I feel like I've tried to do my best. I still enjoy it's still fun. I just think it's a bit more, I think it plays a lot slower, and there's a lot of people, there's not as... It's not, I don't think it's as fun as Seven, and I don't think it has the heart of Seven either. I think Seven has more heart. I do like the zombie car thing. I think that's great. I do like the submarine thing. I think that's great. I think that's hilarious. Everything in between, I'm not too sure about. And I think I didn't realise before how kind of lackluster some of that was. But it's the Fast and Furious ones. I do think the next one's going to be better. And I do think the film was hindered by those conflicts that happened. I think you can definitely tell that the best stuff in it was the kind of Hobbs and Shaw stuff, and then obviously they saw that and made a film out of that. But yeah, yes, I agree with all the reviews. There is a lot. There's some terrible it's terrible dialogue and terrible bits of it's just weirdly structured and stuff. But hey, it's Fast and Furious. I had a blast when I first watched it. I had some fun watching it again. I would probably say it is awful, but I had a good time. Yeah. So how about you, Luke?
So I watched this at midnight this morning, and then went to bed, and then woke up and found those reviews. So yeah, it is awful. It's not awesome, is it? It's got its moments. I think if I hadn't seen Hobbs and Shaw before this, then maybe I would have been caught off guard with how much the series has changed. Because,
see.
of course, my only experiences up to this point have been 1, 2, 3, and then trailers.
Yeah.
Where I've,
Yeah.
and like zeitgeist, everyone talking about how fucking bizarre everything has gotten.
Yeah.
There is some questionable things, and I do agree with that one review who was like, "Why did she bother getting Dom? You didn't. She could have done this whole zombie car sequence with Beardman."
But like, I mean, you don't need any of that. Like Fast and Furious, there's so many things that you could just put out.
This
Like,
is
why do they
true.
need these guys anyway? They just drive cars. But that's what's great about the series.
It is.
It's ludicrous, and it even has ludicrous in it. It's brilliant.
But yeah, I feel it, and like, if there's a scale between awesome and awful, as opposed to this black and white chromatic scale that I originally pitched and what is put on polls and stuff, then it doesn't sit all the way at awful. It kind of sits
Yeah.
nearer the middle, probably leaning a bit to awful. It's not awesome. It has its moments, but like, they're outweighed by
I see.
bland. It was one of those. Partially, I came into this film expecting kung fu with cars, because that's how it had been pitched to me on like what has happened and transpired with the Fast and Furious
Oh, I
franchise.
see. No, it's not quite that.
But it's not quite there. Maybe 9.
No.
Maybe 9.
I think 7's more fun. I think you'll
Yeah.
have more fun with 7. I think 7's, in my opinion, is the best in the series. But
And I will
Yeah, I know a lot
yet
of people
again
rate
make
5.
the empty promise that I will watch those.
Well,
those Fast
you'll
and
have to
Furiouses
do it.
that I didn't.
because I will probably want to do 7 at some point on this podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, you know,
100%.
we've
The only
done
reason we
this
did
one,
8.
So
The only reason we
there's
did 8 is because it's the
search
most recent one
engine
before the new one.
optimization.
Don't tell everyone. No, I'm joking.
You
we didn't
just
sell out.
did.
We didn't sell out. No, I'm joking. No, we're talking about. Yeah, I feel like I did with 8 because obviously it's the most recent one
Yeah.
for the new one. But I do feel like 7 we should do at some point. I think that'd be fun. But we'll do that with Sean on, and maybe Matt, because we'll get the whole family on to do that one, because I think that'd be a fun episode.
Fair enough. Do you know what? Because we cut out the beginning bit, I've got a question,
Yeah.
right? What
Okay.
would you watch with this?
Oh,
if you were
okay, like a
doing,
double bill.
Yeah, that's like a double bill film club. It doesn't have to be the same. Maybe it could be like completely different. But what sort of films would, if you were to approach a film club and they were like, hey, this is the headliner, this is the main film. What
Fast
would you
8.
bring as like the option for another film to watch as well?
And it can't be the sequels, obviously.
I mean, it can if you want to be.
Well, I mean,
like,
the obvious answer is 7, isn't it?
yeah,
but-
I mean,
But,
yeah, but then again, do you really
let's
want to watch
do different
7 and
movies.
8?
Let's do different movies.
From what I understand, 7 is like way better than 8. So you'll be like, yeah, 7, and then go into 8 like, yeah,
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's cut out the Fast and Furious. None of the other Fast saga. You've got Fate of the Furious and another film. And then, a quick reason. As to
I'm just
why
gonna
you-
pick the first thing that went to my head.
Okay.
These are, I wouldn't. I don't think this is necessarily the best double bill, but I think it's a funny double bill to do.
Okay, I'm interested.
Christine. So we have sentient cars,
Yes.
In Christine.
Okay, yes, I know of
and
this.
obviously we have control cars in Fast and Furious 8. It's a very loose connection, but I think it'd be fun to watch a horror movie about a killer car, and then to watch a movie about cars trying to take down a submarine that fires missiles. I can't stop saying that.
Yeah, no,
so-
that's fair.
Yeah, that's my pick. I really like Christine. It's great. It's a great John Carpenter movie. Underrated, I think. But before I watched it, I was like, a killer car? Like, really? Is that going to be scary? And somehow I am kind of terrified of this car. It's pretty amazing, to be fair.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think that would be mine. I'm just gonna. That was the first thing that popped in my head.
No, fair.
How about you, Luke?
Well, immediately from your answer, I was like, oh, okay, well, in a similar vein, the animated classic Cars.
Ah, okay.
Because,
Okay.
We're
We're just going for car movies. Makes sense.
However, the one that I originally thought of before I asked the question was The Transporter. So, Jason Statham.
Oh, with Statham, that's a good
or,
idea.
if you don't have a copy of that, Crank.
That is
High
also
Voltage.
great. I do watch it.
those.
I do enjoy Crank. It's quite fun.
Because, you know, Jason Statham's in it. He does some cool, like, quick action. So maybe you want a bit more of that. Maybe
And that is another movie that doesn't take itself too seriously either.
Doesn't.
It has a ridiculous premise, so...
Oh, especially Crank. Crank is
Yeah, that's what I'm
balls
saying.
to
Yeah.
the wall craziness. It's great.
It is crazy.
There we go. So if you're doing a film club, there are suggestions.
There are suggestions with Fast and Furious 8.
Oh, I love it. Right. Should we plug the socials? Should we wrap it all up in a nice bow?
Let's do it. Let's do
Okay,
it.
then go for it, my friend.
Right, so you can find us on YouTube, Your Favourite Film Was Awful, Facebook, Your Favourite Film Was Awful, Instagram, Your Favourite Film Was Awful, and Twitter, @FabFilmWasAwful. And you can also find us on Patreon, Your Favourite Film Was Awful. So yeah, please check us out, guys. Send us a message. If
Hit
you
the
ever have any...
socials.
Yeah, hit the socials. If you have any questions about things regarding the show, or things you want changed, or things that you like about the show, we're always looking for feedback, so please send feedback.
Give us
so we're always trying to
suggestions.
improve.
Maybe we'll implement them. Maybe we'll think you're a silly bugger and laugh at you. But ultimately, we got the Patreon if you want to support us. And that just makes your voice a little bit louder. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit louder. We may still think you're silly, but we'll hear it clearer.
That's true.
Thank you for watching / listening / being here on this journey. Bye-bye.
Take care.
What's your favorite film? God, that's awful.
Favorite?
Awful. Awful.
Your favorite
Film.
awful.